Looks like Charlie Hunnam might be hopping back on his bike as Jax Teller, and fans are buzzing with excitement. Hunnam had quite the career, from standout roles in Shantaram and The Gentlemen to almost landing the lead in 50 Shades of Grey. He was a top pick before the role went to Jamie Dornan. But let's be honest, when most people think of Charlie Hunnam, they think of Jax from Sons of Anarchy. That role pretty much became his signature. The show wrapped up back in 2014, and since then, fans have been wondering, will we ever get more? A sequel? A reboot? Anything? Sons of Anarchy was a game-changer for Hunnam. Playing Jax for 7 intense seasons made him one of TV's most talked-about stars. He threw himself into the role completely, so much so that saying goodbye wasn't easy. At first, he was clear. Jax was done, and he wasn't putting that biker cut back on. But lately, it seems like he might be rethinking that. So, what's changed? Charlie spent 8 years living and breathing Jax Teller. In a 2017 interview while promoting King Arthur, he said playing Jax was a deep, one-of-a-kind experience. When the show ended, stepping away from the character took real effort. He even made a few quiet trips back to the set just to say his own personal goodbyes. Looking back, Hunnam has compared his time on Sons of Anarchy to going through college. In a 2020 chat with People magazine, he said the show gave him a massive boost of confidence in his acting career. He started out not knowing much about the craft, but filming 10 pages of dialogue a day really put him through his paces. It was a steep learning curve, but one that shaped him as an actor. Now, years after the series ended, Hunnam's been dropping hints about returning to the Sons of Anarchy world. That little tease has fans going wild, wondering what could be next for Jax and the club. If you've seen the show, you'll know Jax's story played out like a modern-day Hamlet. A tragic hero haunted by his dad's legacy, drawn into darkness, and eventually sacrificing himself for what he believed was the greater good. The series ended with him riding his bike straight into an oncoming semi-truck. A dramatic final moment, but one that didn't show his actual death on screen, which, of course, has left fans debating whether he could have somehow survived. And that's where it gets interesting. Over the years, Hunnam has teased ideas for how Jax could make a comeback. Nothing confirmed, but he's definitely been thinking about it. One idea would fit right in with the show's Shakespearean vibes, maybe a sequel that follows Jax's sons, Abel and Thomas. Flashbacks, dream sequences, or even ghostly visits from Jax could all be on the table. Series creator Kurt Sutter has talked about this kind of story before, so who knows? We might not have seen the last of Jax Teller after all, and hey, if Juice, played by Theo Rossi, somehow popped back up, even though he died in Season 7, that would only add fuel to the fire that this Sons of Anarchy revival theory might have legs. As for Charlie Hunnam's possible return to the Sam Crow world, well, it's still all a bit of a mystery. He did talk about it in an interview with Access Hollywood, saying he's definitely interested and open to the idea. So, while nothing's official, the door doesn't seem completely shut. In the meantime, the Sons of Anarchy universe has already expanded with Mayans MC, a successful spin-off that ran for 5 seasons, but it hasn't been without drama. Series creator Kurt Sutter was fired over what was described as unprofessional behavior, and co-writer Elgin James stepped in to take the reins. While Mayans did feature a few familiar faces from the original show, fans are still unsure if Charlie will ever appear in that world. Back when he was promoting his film Papillon, Charlie explained why, at that point, he had no plans to revisit Jax, especially not in Mayans. He talked about how deeply the role affected him. Jax wasn't just a character, he had become a real part of Charlie's identity. After filming Wrapped and Jax's story ended, Charlie said he went through what felt like an actual grieving process that lasted for weeks. But hey, that was then, and time can change things. Another side effect of playing Jax? Charlie ended up being labeled a Hollywood heartthrob, something he's had mixed feelings about. Sure, being good-looking opens some doors, but he said he wants people to focus on his craft, not just his face. In an interview with InStyle, Charlie admitted he tries not to think too much about how others see him. He's more focused on shaping his own self-image and being confident in who he is. He knows some people will always write him off as just the pretty boy, but that's not stopping him. He's determined to put in the work and deliver performances that really land. Through all the ups and downs, Sons of Anarchy remains a massive and meaningful part of Charlie's life. He has a deep respect for the show, and for that iconic leather vest. In fact, he still owns it, and he's pretty protective of it too. If friends come over and ask to try it on, it's a hard no. To him, that vest belongs to Jax, and Jax is gone. He believes the role deserves to be honored, not played around with. Charlie's been pretty firm in the past about not resurrecting Jax. In a 2020 interview, he said fans constantly ask him if he'll come back, and his answer was a flat-out no. He even said he wouldn't wear the cut or the rings again, not even as a Halloween costume. That role hit him hard, and he ended up carrying parts of Jax around with him in ways he hadn't expected. Charlie Hunnam's made it pretty clear in the past. Jax is gone. For real. No magical comeback or last-minute twist. If he does return to the Sons of Anarchy world, it'll have to be in a different way. That said, things are getting interesting. Theo Rossi, who played Juice, recently dropped some juicy, pun-intended hints about a new project that might involve Charlie and some of their old Sam Crow crew. During a panel for his film Emily the Criminal, Rossi teased a secret project with Hunnam and a few familiar faces from the original show. When someone straight up asked if it was a Sons of Anarchy movie, he just smiled and said, "It's totally different, but really cool. Sounds like something big might be cooking behind the scenes." He also added that Charlie would be making some kind of announcement soon. Whether the project ends up happening or not, Rossi said it's been amazing staying close with the cast, and it'd still be special either way. Then came Liverpool Comic Con, and that's where Hunnam finally gave fans what they've been waiting to hear. He confirmed that something tied to the Sons of Anarchy universe is in the works. But, and it's a big but, he was clear that he won't be back as Jax Teller. Not exactly, anyway. Still, just hearing that he's involved in anything related to Sam Crow has fans hyped. After years of saying, "never again," Hunnam's tone has definitely changed. In a chat with Access Hollywood, he dropped a small but powerful comment that sparked a wave of speculation. Despite how things ended for Jax, Charlie admitted he's been toying with an idea that's really grabbed his attention. It's still early days, but whatever it is, he's excited. And he's hinted that we'll hear more about it soon. So, yeah, Charlie Hunnam might not be revving Jax's bike just yet, but something's clearly brewing. With this new openness, fans are buzzing with all sorts of theories. Maybe we'll see flashbacks in Mayans MC, or even a prequel exploring Jax's earlier days. Whatever it ends up being, one thing's for sure. Hunnam's change of heart has people more curious than ever. From saying goodbye to the cut, to possibly stepping back into the Sons of Anarchy world, this is the wild ride of Charlie Hunnam's unexpected return.